What if your anxiety is merely a shadow of your mind? A shadow you can dispel by illuminating it with the light of awareness? Most people struggle with anxiety as if it's an inevitable part of life, but the wise know this. Anxiety is a river that flows only when we give it power. Imagine this. You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the floor, your mind is already racing. Will I meet my deadlines today? What if something goes wrong? Am I good enough? These thoughts swirl like a storm, pulling you deeper into their chaos. But what if you could step back, observe the storm, and realize that it has no real power over you? Today, I will share 5 meditative practices rooted in the timeless wisdom of Buddha. These practices are not just techniques, they are pathways to transforming your mind and finding peace in the midst of chaos. As the Buddha said, peace begins within you. But first, let me ask you a question. Asterisk, what would your life look like if you could silence the noise of fear and doubt, even for just a moment? The answer lies not in escaping your thoughts, but in learning how to master them. Let's begin this journey together. First, understand this. Everything changes. Anicca, the teaching of impermanence, reminds us that nothing in this world remains unchanged. So why do we cling to our fears as if they are eternal? Think about it. How often do you worry about something that will never happen? The truth is, most of our anxiety stems from attachment to outcomes. We want things to go a certain way, and when they don't, we suffer. But what if you could embrace change instead of resisting it? Everything that arises ceases, the Buddha taught. This profound truth forms the foundation of our first practice, observing your breath. But why start with something as simple as breathing? Because your breath is always with you. It is the te, bridge between your body and mind, the anchor that keeps you grounded in the present moment. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. Your breath is like waves on the ocean. Each inhale is the rising wave, full of potential and energy. Each exhale is the falling wave, releasing tension and letting go. Just as the ocean cannot exist without its waves, your mind cannot exist without its thoughts. But here's the key. You don't have to control the waves. You simply need to observe them. Here's how to practice mindful breathing. 1. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably, either on a chair or on the floor. Keep your back straight but relaxed. 2. Focus on your breath. Close your eyes and bring your attention to the sensation of your breath. Feel the cool air entering your nostrils and the warm air leaving. 3. Count your breaths. Inhale deeply for a count of 4. Hold for 4 and exhale for 4. Repeat this cycle 5 times. 4. Notice distractions. If your mind wanders, gently bring your focus back to your breath without judgment. 5. Visualize calmness. Imagine each exhale carrying away your worries, like leaves floating down a stream. This practice may seem simple, but its power lies in consistency. Over time, you'll notice that your mind becomes quieter, more focused, and less reactive. As the Buddha said in the Anapanasati Sutta, mindfulness of breathing, when developed and cultivated, leads to the ending of suffering. So, take a deep breath. Let it be your first step toward inner peace. But here's a question for you. Asterisk, what would happen if you dedicated just 5 minutes a day to observing your breath? Would it change your perspective on life? What will you choose, to be a prisoner of your attachments or the master of your freedom? The second practice is rooted in the teaching of attachment. The Buddha said, "Attachment is the root of suffering." But what does this mean, and how can we apply it to our lives? Let me share a story. Once, a wealthy merchant owned a beautiful golden vase. He cherished it so much that he kept it locked away in a special cabinet, fearing it might break or be stolen. One day, a thief broke into his house and took the vase. The merchant was devastated. For days, he couldn't eat or sleep, consumed by grief over his loss. A wise monk visited him and asked, "Why do you suffer so deeply?" The merchant replied, "Because I lost something precious." The monk smiled and said, "You didn't lose anything. You only held on too tightly." This story illustrates a profound truth. Our suffering often comes not from losing something, but from clinging to it in the first place. When we attach ourselves to outcomes, whether it's success, relationships, or material possessions, we create fertile ground for anxiety. Here's a step-by-step guide to release attachment. 1. Identify your attachments. Take a piece of paper and divide it into 2 columns. In the first column, write down everything you feel you need to be happy. Is it your job title, your partner's approval, or the fear of failure? Be honest with yourself. 2. Question their necessity. Ask yourself, is this truly essential for my peace, or is it just a desire? 3. Visualize letting go. Close your eyes and imagine releasing each attachment one by one. Picture them dissolving like clouds in the sky. 4. Reflect on impermanence. Remember that everything changes. What feels permanent today will fade tomorrow. 5. Practice gratitude. Focus on what you already have instead of what you lack. Gratitude is the antidote to attachment. As the Buddha said in the Dhammapada, all things are transient. They rise and fall away. By embracing this truth, you can transform your suffering into wisdom. So, what will you choose, to hold on or to let go? The third practice is about the power of words. Thoughts become words. Words become actions, the Buddha taught. But how often do we speak to ourselves or others with kindness and intention? Words are like seeds. When we plant positive seeds, they grow into beautiful flowers. When we plant negative seeds, they grow into thorns. Every word you say shapes your reality. In the morning, before getting out of bed, try saying these 3 affirmations. 1. I am grateful for this day. Gratitude opens the door to abundance. 2. I am worthy of peace. You deserve to live a life free from fear and doubt. 3. I choose calmness. Your mind is a garden. Nurture it with peaceful thoughts, but affirmation alone is not enough. Here's how to deepen this practice. 1. Write it down. Keep a journal where you record your daily affirmations. Reflect on how they make you feel. 2. Speak with intention. Before speaking, ask yourself, will these words bring harm or healing? 3. Transform negativity. Whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, replace it with a positive thought. For example, instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I am growing and learning every day. As the Buddha said, better than un. 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. So, what words will you choose to plant in your mind today? The fourth practice is based on the ancient technique of metta meditation or loving kindness meditation. The Buddha taught, just as a mother protects her only child, so should you cultivate boundless love for all beings. But what does it mean? To cultivate love, not just for those who are kind to us, but for everyone, even those who cause us pain. Let me share a story. Once, a woman named Kisagatami lost her only son. Overcome with grief, she carried his lifeless body from house to house, begging for medicine to bring him back to life. No one could help her until she met the Buddha. Asterisk, he told her, go to the village and collect mustard seeds from any household that has never experienced death. Kisagatami went from door to door, but every family she visited had suffered loss. Finally, she realized that death and suffering are universal. Returning to the Buddha, she said, I understand now. My pain is not unique. The Buddha smiled and guided her in meditation, teaching her to open her heart to compassion, not just for herself, but for all beings. This story teaches us that love and kindness are the antidotes to suffering. Here's how to practice metta. Meditation 1. Start with yourself. Close your eyes and silently repeat these phrases. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. 2. Expand to loved ones. Picture someone you care about deeply, a family member, a friend, or a partner. Repeat the same phrases for them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. 3. Include neutral people. Think of someone you neither like nor dislike, a neighbor, a coworker, or a stranger. Offer them the same wishes. 4. Challenge yourself. Picture someone who has hurt you. It may feel difficult, but try to sincerely wish them peace. 5. Extend to all beings. Finally, expand your thoughts to include all living beings everywhere. Repeat, may all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings live with ease. As the Buddha said in the Karaniya Metta Sutta, with a heart full of love, one dwells in peace. So, I invite you to ask yourself, who in your life needs your kindness today? Why do we so often forget that our mind is like a monkey, jumping from branch to branch? The fifth practice is called observing your thoughts. This practice teaches us to step back from our thoughts and see them for what they truly are, fleeting clouds in the sky of our consciousness. Imagine this. Your mind is a busy marketplace. Thoughts come and go like people passing by, some friendly, some hostile, some indifferent. But here's the key. You don't have to engage with every thought that enters your mind. You can simply observe them, like a shopkeeper watching customers walk past their store. Here's how to practice observing your thoughts. 1. Set aside time. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Set a timer for 5 minutes. 2. Close your eyes. Bring your attention inward and notice the flow of your thoughts. 3. Label your thoughts. As each thought arises, silently label it. Thinking, worrying, planning, or remembering. Don't judge the thought, just acknowledge it. 4. Visualize clouds. Imagine your thoughts as clouds drifting across the sky. Some are dark and heavy, others are light and fluffy. Watch them come and go without clinging to any of them. 5. return to the present. Whenever you get caught up in a thought, gently bring your focus back to the present moment. This practice helps you develop what the Buddha called sati mindfulness. By observing your thoughts without attachment, you free yourself from their power over you. As the Buddha said, you cannot stop the wave, but you can learn to surf. So I ask you, what would it feel like to watch your thoughts instead of being controlled by them? Each of these practices is a step on the path to freeing yourself from anxiety. But remember, consistency is key. Just as a river carves its way through a mountain, these practices will gradually transform your mind if you practice them regularly. Let's summarize. 1. Observing your breath. Anchor yourself in the present moment. Point 2. Working with attachments. Let go of what no longer serves you. 3. Morning affirmations. Plant seeds of positivity in your mind. 4. Loving kindness meditation. Cultivate compassion for yourself and others. 5. Observing your thoughts. Learn to watch your mind without judgment. But here's the deeper truth. These practices are not just techniques. They are invitations to live a more mindful, peaceful life. They remind us that the source of our suffering is not outside us, but within us. And when we change our inner world, the outer world begins to transform as well. As the Buddha said, the mind is everything you become. So take a moment to reflect. Which of these practices resonates with you the most? How will you integrate it into your daily life? Your journey to freedom from anxiety begins with the first step. Try these practices for 7 days and notice how your perception of the world shifts. Here's a simple challenge to 1. Day 1. Practice mindful breathing for 5 minutes. 2. Day 2. Identify one attachment and let it go. 3. Day 3. Write down 3 positive affirmations and repeat them throughout the day. 4. Day 4. Practice metta meditation for 10 minutes. 5. Day 5. Observe your thoughts without judgment for 5 minutes. 6. Day 6. Combine all 5 practices into one session. 7. Day 7. Reflect on how these practices have impacted your mind and heart. As one great Zen master said, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Share in the comments which practice was most effective for you. Did you feel calmer, more centered, more connected to yourself and others? If you found this video helpful, share it with friends who are also seeking calm in our anxious world. Subscribe to the channel because there's much more wisdom ahead to help you see the light even on the darkest days. Remember, peace is a state of mind. May your heart become a temple of serenity. Before we part ways, let me leave you with one final teaching from the Buddha. Happiness does not depend on what you have, but on what you are. True peace comes not from external circumstances, but from the clarity and stillness of your own mind. So, take a deep breath. Look around you. The world is full of beauty, even in its imperfections. And you are capable of transforming your life, one mindful moment at a time. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, may your path be filled with light and wisdom. Namaste.